I'm Charlie Watson. I'm 18. Today, actually. Is the beetle for sale?
Yours, kid. Happy birthday.
What are you?
No idea where he came from?
No idea. People can be terrible about things they don't understand.
Set against the backdrop of 1987, the story unfolds during a time when the world feels simpler on the surface, but carries quiet emotional weight underneath. Bumblebee arrives on Earth while being hunted, damaged, and cut off from everything he knows. His escape ends abruptly when he crashes and shuts down near a small Californian beach town, eventually blending into a junkyard full of forgotten machines. Stripped of his voice, memories fragmented, and body battle scarred, Bumblebee exists in a vulnerable state that immediately sets a different tone from the large-scale destruction often associated with giant robots. From the very beginning, the focus is not on spectacle alone, but on survival, loss, and the search for belonging. Charlie Watson enters the story as a young woman standing at the edge of adulthood, emotionally stuck between who she was and who she wants to become. She lives with the pain of losing her father, a wound that quietly defines her daily life and relationships. Her home feels crowded yet lonely, filled with reminders that time has moved on for everyone else. Charlie struggles to connect with her family, her friends, and even herself. Her love for mechanics and old cars becomes an emotional outlet, a way to hold on to something familiar and grounding. This internal conflict makes her discovery of Bumblebee feel natural, rather than accidental, as if two broken souls are drawn together by circumstance. When Charlie stumbles upon the damaged yellow Volkswagen Beetle in the junkyard, she sees potential instead of scrap. The car's worn condition mirrors her own sense of being overlooked and underestimated. Bringing Bumblebee home is not an act of heroism, but one of curiosity and empathy. As she begins repairing him, the bond between human and machine forms quietly, built on patience and trust rather than grand gestures. The moment Bumblebee comes back online is not explosive or triumphant. It is gentle, confused, and almost childlike. His reactions to the human world are cautious and curious, reinforcing his innocence despite his origins as a Cybertronian warrior. As Bumblebee starts to regain awareness, the story reveals his personality through small, expressive details. Without a voice, he communicates using gestures, body language, and snippets of sound from the radio, creating moments that are humorous, heartfelt, and deeply human. These interactions give the character emotional depth, making him feel less like a machine and more like a companion. His friendship with Charlie grows organically as they learn each other's rhythms, fears, and strengths. Bumblebee's loyalty and protectiveness emerge not from programming, but from genuine connection. While the heart of the story lies in this relationship, danger slowly creeps closer. Forces from Bumblebee's past are not far behind, and their presence introduces tension without overwhelming the narrative. The antagonists represent a colder, more ruthless side of the Cybertronian conflict, emphasizing how different Bumblebee is from them. Their arrival on Earth threatens not only Bumblebee's existence, but also the fragile peace Charlie has found through him. This contrast highlights one of the film's strongest themes, the difference between power used for domination and strength used for protection. Charlie's personal journey runs parallel to Bumblebee's struggle. As she spends time with him, she begins to rediscover her own confidence and sense of purpose. Fixing Bumblebee helps her confront unresolved grief and feelings of isolation. Through their bond, she learns that healing does not mean forgetting the past, but accepting it and moving forward. Bumblebee, in turn, learns about humanity through Charlie's kindness, humor, and resilience. Their friendship becomes a mutual exchange of growth rather than a one-sided rescue. The setting plays a crucial role in grounding the story. The small beach town, high school hallways, cluttered garages, and quiet coastal roads create an intimate atmosphere that contrasts sharply with the cosmic scale of the Cybertronian War. The 1980 essay aesthetic adds warmth and nostalgia, reinforcing the idea of a world on the edge of change. Music, fashion, and everyday details from the era help anchor the emotional tone, making the extraordinary feel personal and relatable. Bumblebee's fascination with Earth culture, especially music, adds layers of charm and humor without breaking the emotional flow. As memories begin to resurface, Bumblebee's past as a soldier becomes clearer. Brief flashes of Cybertron reveal the cost of war and the sacrifices made by those who fought in it. These glimpses are not used to glorify conflict, but to underline its consequences. Bumblebee's gentle nature stands in contrast to the violence he has endured, reinforcing the idea that even warriors long for peace. This internal conflict adds depth to his character, making his desire to protect Charlie and her world feel deeply personal. The relationship between Charlie and her family evolves subtly alongside the main story. Her strained dynamic at home reflects her fear of change and loss. As she grows more confident through her bond with Bumblebee, she starts to re-engage with the people around her. These moments are quiet and realistic, avoiding melodrama while still carrying emotional weight. Charlie's journey is not about sudden transformation, but gradual self-acceptance, making her growth feel authentic. When confrontation becomes unavoidable, the story balances action with emotion. The stakes are high, but they remain grounded in the character's personal motivations. Bumblebee fights not as a weapon, but as a protector. Charlie is not sidelined during these moments. She remains actively involved, using intelligence and courage rather than brute force. Their teamwork reinforces the core message that strength comes from trust and unity. Even during intense sequences, the focus stays on their bond and what they stand to lose. The tone of the climax reflects the film's overall approach, heartfelt rather than bombastic. Loss, sacrifice, and difficult choices define the final stretch of the story. Bumblebee is forced to confront his identity and purpose, while Charlie faces the reality that some connections, no matter how meaningful, are temporary. These moments are handled with restraint, allowing the emotional impact to resonate without being overshadowed by spectacle. As the story moves toward resolution, themes of growth, letting go, and hope take center stage. Charlie emerges stronger and more self-assured, no longer defined by her grief or uncertainty. Bumblebee, having found friendship and understanding, is better prepared to face his destiny. Their time together becomes a defining chapter in both their lives, shaping who they are and who they will become. The narrative ultimately emphasizes that heroism is not measured by size or power, but by compassion and courage. Bumblebee's journey shows that even the smallest or most underestimated individuals can make a profound difference. Charlie's story reinforces the idea that healing often comes from unexpected places. Together, they create a story that feels intimate, emotional, and hopeful, standing apart as a character-driven tale within a larger universe. By focusing on connection rather than chaos, the story delivers a refreshing perspective. It strips the concept of giant robots down to its emotional core, reminding viewers that at the heart of every great adventure is a relationship worth fighting for. The bond between Charlie and Bumblebee lingers long after the final moments, leaving behind a sense of warmth, nostalgia, and quiet optimism that defines the experience as something deeply human, even when told through the eyes of a machine.